Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, General Mind. Today, our topic is the time travelers of history and the mind-blowing coincidences they experienced. Some say time is relative, while others claim it's an illusion. Regardless of what it is, one thing is certain: time is always on our side. It can be our best friend or worst enemy, depending on how we use it. Time travel, though often relegated to the realm of science fiction, has fascinated humans for centuries. The idea of traveling through time would enable us to witness historical events firsthand, meet our ancestors, or even glimpse into the future. While actual time travel remains elusive, there are instances throughout history that have left many wondering if perhaps time travel is not as far-fetched as we think. Christopher Columbus and Marco Polo. Christopher Columbus, the famous explorer who is credited with being the first European to reach the Americas, died believing he had actually reached India. He was known to have studied the works of ancient Greek and Roman historians such as Strabo and Pliny the Elder, which described an eastern land of great wealth and diversity. When Columbus set sail on his now famous voyage in 1492, he did so with the belief that he could reach Asia by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. What's interesting is that nearly 50 years before Columbus embarked on his journey, the Venetian explorer Marco Polo had traveled to Asia, including what is now known as Hong Kong. Polo's journey to Asia was much longer and more arduous than Columbus's, and he was one of the first Europeans to make the journey over land. Despite the challenges, Polo's travels were filled with wonder and adventure, and he encountered many cultures and customs that were completely foreign to him. He famously described the Great Khan's court in detail, noting its opulence and the vast array of goods that were traded there. Marco Polo's account of his travels helped to inspire other Europeans to explore Asia, and his descriptions of the riches and wonders he had seen there helped to spark the age of exploration. It is believed that Columbus may have read Polo's account of his travels and been inspired to seek out Asia for himself. If true, this would mean that Columbus and Polo may have been aware of each other's journeys and the fact that they were both seeking to reach the same destination, albeit by different routes. Ancient Egyptian papyrus and Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, the renowned English playwright and poet, is considered one of the greatest writers in the English language. His plays and sonnets have been translated into every major living language and are performed more frequently than those of any other playwright. Yet despite his enduring legacy, there are still many unanswered questions about Shakespeare's life. One of the most intriguing mysteries surrounding Shakespeare is the apparent influence of ancient Egyptian culture on his work. Several of Shakespeare's plays and poems contain references to ancient Egypt and its culture, such as in The Tempest, where the character of Prospero speaks of Caliban as a, quote, demi-monster from the, quote, lipped jilts of Nile. In addition, Shakespeare's Sonnet 73, "My mind to my heart is now a 1,000-year-old palace," contains imagery that evokes ancient Egypt, such as the line, "The marble white, how many summers' heat has hit." These references to ancient Egypt are all the more remarkable when we consider that Shakespeare was writing during the Elizabethan era, long before Egyptology became a common field of study. There are two possible explanations for Shakespeare's apparent fascination with ancient Egypt. One is that he was simply a student of world cultures and was fascinated by the ancient Egyptians' achievements. Alternatively, some scholars have suggested that Shakespeare may have had access to lost or undiscovered texts that contained Egyptian mythology and history. This latter explanation is particularly intriguing as it suggests that Shakespeare may have been a time traveler who was able to witness ancient Egyptian culture firsthand. John Titor from the future. John Titor was a mysterious online persona who gained notoriety in the early 2000s for his claims of being a time traveler from the year 2036. Titor first appeared on the internet in 1998, posting messages on various bulletin board systems and chat rooms claiming to be a soldier in the United States Army's time travel research facility. According to Titor, he was sent back in time to the year 2000 to retrieve a copy of the Microsoft OS boot sector virus from a computer store in order to study it for future time travel applications. Titor claimed to be armed with a variety of futuristic weapons and technologies, including a device that allowed him to travel through time at the speed of light. He also provided detailed descriptions of the year 2036, including accounts of how the weather and environment had changed. While Titor's claims were met with skepticism from many, there were also those who believed his story. and over the years he developed a cult following of fans who were fascinated by his tales of time travel and the future. However, Teeter's online presence came to an abrupt end in 2001, when he suddenly stopped posting messages, and his subsequent disappearance only added to the mystery surrounding his claims. Some believe that Teeter was a hoax, while others maintain that he was a genuine time traveler who was forced to cease his communications for some unknown reason. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is a mysterious book that has baffled scholars and cryptographers for centuries. Written in an unknown script and filled with strange illustrations, its purpose and origins remain a complete enigma. The book is named after the bookseller Wilfrid Voynich, who purchased it in 1912. However, its origins can be traced back much further, possibly to as early as the 15th century. What makes the Voynich manuscript so unique and mysterious is its unusual writing system. The script used in the book is unlike any other known language, and its illustrations feature strange plants, astronomical charts, and diagrams of human anatomy that are unlike anything else from the period in which it was written. Many have attempted to decipher the manuscript, but so far no one has been successful. Some have speculated that the book is a hoax, while others believe it contains a secret code or hidden message. The most popular theory is that the book is written in a fictional language created by the author, and that the illustrations are meant to complement the text. But the truth is, no one really knows. The Voynich manuscript is currently housed at Yale University, where it continues to baffle researchers. Its mysterious script and strange illustrations continue to captivate those who study it, and it remains one of the most enigmatic books in the world. Ramsay Dukes and the Crypto. Ramsay Dukes was a former army medic who became famous in the 1970s for claiming to have traveled back in time to witness several historical events. Dukes made headlines when he published a story in Reader's Digest detailing his supposed time travels. According to Dukes, he had witnessed the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the Boston Massacre, and the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. He also claimed to have met several famous historical figures, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Mark Twain. However, it was Dukes' account of meeting Adolf Hitler in 1933 that caused the most controversy. According to Dukes, he had been sent back in time by the U.S. government to assassinate the Nazi leader, but when he confronted Hitler, Dukes claimed that he was unable to go through with the mission. As the story goes, Dukes tracked down Hitler to a small cafe in Munich and introduced himself as a journalist. He then engaged the Nazi leader in conversation, all the while sizing him up as a potential target. But when the time came for Dukes to make his move, he found that he couldn't bring himself to kill Hitler. Instead, Dukes decided to spare the Nazi leader's life and return to his own time. While Dukes' story was never proven to be true, it nevertheless captured the public imagination. Many people were intrigued by the idea of time travel and the possibility that someone had been sent back in time to assassinate Hitler. Others, however, were skeptical of Dukes' story, believing that he was either a hoax or a madman. Benjamin Franklin and the pool. Benjamin Franklin was an American polymath and one of the most influential founding fathers of the United States. He was a writer, scientist, inventor, politician, and diplomat, among many other things. But perhaps one of the strangest stories associated with Franklin is his supposed encounter with a pool in London that could turn people into fish. Yes, you heard that right, a talking fish pool. According to the story, Franklin was walking down a street in London when he came across a small crowd gathered around a pool. Curious, he decided to take a closer look, and what he saw shocked him. The pool was filled with fish that were well talking, but that wasn't the strangest part. Franklin reportedly reached out to pet one of the fish, and as soon as his hand touched the water, he was immediately transformed into a fish himself. Luckily, Franklin was able to escape the pool before anyone noticed, and he lived to tell the tale. While this story may sound like something out of a fantasy novel, it was actually recorded in one of Franklin's letters. Whether or not the talking fish pool actually existed is unknown, but one thing is for sure, it's a truly bizarre and unforgettable story. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like it and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you never miss any of my videos.